Welcome. Glad to have my replay people here. Got a lot of stuff to chat about today. Wanted to try and do a quick cast. We'll see how that goes. Again, I'm Jeremy Franson, and I'm from Internet Business Mastery, the #1 podcast on internet business since about 2005. But today I'm actually going to be talking a little bit more about designing habits. Hello, everyone. I saw Ryan come in, Mike, Kirby, hey, how's it going? Kathy made it in. Hey, Mike, what's up? Morning, Jacqueline. Kirby, what's up? Ryan, hey, I'm working on weight loss now too. Looking forward to this. Awesome. We got James Broderick coming in. EXT Training. Kay's Way Creation. Welcome. Let's see. How many people here have had, let's say, a 50% success rate on getting your goals? Like, that's actually pretty high. I would put mine at about 10%. Now, I have a lot of, I've had a lot of goals in the past, and I found that I was getting about a 10% or maybe even 15%, depending on the year, success rate. So that's why I've been trying to figure out this habit stuff recently. Not that high, maybe 25%. Yeah, that's actually, that would be good to me. I would love 25%. I found that, again, I'm at about 10%, and I've been trying to dissect for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 months why that is the case. Because every time I look at my goals, I'm like going, how is that goal still on my list for the last 5 years? I wonder what Tony Robbins' percentage is. Yeah, well, and I originally learned from Tony Robbins when I was 19. He was the first guy I learned about goals. And the tough thing about that is, you know, I started with like 150 goals or something, because that was one of the things he sort of said. Hey, North Carolina, awesome. Hey, I'm actually going to be going to Asheville, North Carolina, maybe in the fall. I'm trying to find a new house and trying to find the area that I would really like. So that's awesome, North Carolina. But anyway, so out of the last, let's say, 20-something years, I've been trying to do the Tony Robbins goals, and I just always felt like it was missing something. I did the SMART goals. I know, Kirby, I think you mentioned exactly what the SMART goals were in one of my last scopes, but I got a whopping 10% success rate using that particular formula, and I used it very specifically. So I've been looking at doing these habits. And a few days ago, I talked about cornerstone habit, and that's what I'm working on now, is the main cornerstone habit. And I'll tell you what that is. A cornerstone habit is a behavior or routine that naturally pulls the rest of your life in order. So for me, that's health. And in particular, it's weight loss. So after just reading so much stuff about not only health and weight loss and that kind of stuff. I mean, I've been reading this stuff for 17 years or something. Like, I know how to make it work. But it's getting it to actually work that's been an issue for me. So I was going to mention, I like that description of a keystone habit. Yeah, I'll read it again, actually. A keystone habit is a behavior or routine that naturally pulls the rest of your life in order. And there's a whole bunch more written about it, but basically I was like, what's the one that's been on my list the longest that I haven't finished? And that if I could do that thing and find all the ways to make that particular goal happen, I could not only, you know, obviously with greater health you can have greater energy, and so many other aspects of my life would be upped and you know, taken care of because of that. Yes, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time. That's the SMART acronym for that particular type of goal setting. Thank you for putting that in. But anyway, so the keystone habit, that was the first one. Now I put out my rules. So my actual habit that or main goal I'm trying to do is lose 2 pounds a week. I've read tons and tons of stuff on this, and apparently that is the safest way. Now, I've done all sorts of stuff. I've done the paleo diet. I lost 1 pound a week for about 17 days. I was so excited that I instead went on a binge and gained it all back. So that was awesome. And then So now I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible. So I was going to read to you my success rules, and these are rules that you set before you start after the goal, and you start to create a habit for this. So for me, again, it's the 2 pounds, and the success rules are supposed to be clear, simple, specific rules. And yeah, the paleo stuff, very interesting. That's actually mostly what I do. Although I'll tell you some of these rules, which kind of throws it off just a little bit. Hey, Jeremy, IBM peeps in the house. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I saw you're going to be doing a scope in Spanish. Is that right? But anyway, okay, so I'm going to read off these success rules that I've made for this goal that I have of losing 2 pounds a week. Tomorrow, yeah, awesome. If I'm on, I'll come in. I won't know what you're saying, because all I know is, let's see, mi lápiz está amarillo. Am I close? My pencil is yellow. I tried to learn that in about 10 languages, just so I had something really useful. But anyway, okay, so success rules. I'll try and get back on track here. The first one is a mindset rule, and the mindset is, I'm not on a diet. Now, I'll tell you what, I have actually been on a diet for about 17 years. I started gaining weight about 17 years, coincided with getting married back then, and when my wife, ex-wife, was having my first daughter, who is now, just right after actually, she had my first daughter, because my oldest daughter is 18. And so I've been on a diet since, and it's worked great, because I have so much weight to lose. But anyway, so I'm not on a diet. So this is, and these are, I'm going to test these. This isn't now going through these scopes about the habit stuff. This is stuff that I'm learning and testing. This is more of a quest rather than just simply teaching my final things that I've learned. So that's the first one. Number 2 success rule is only eat when I'm hungry. Now this is actually going to be the key to this, because everyone I know that has weight to lose, that we've talked about this, you eat for a whole bunch of issues. Weight is also a problem for me, testing as well. Don't believe in diets either. Yeah, and I'll tell you something I read this whole study where they tested all the major, like 20 diets, and people lost weight on every single one of them. And I was under, very strict dogma of, I wanted to find the absolute truth about health. So I looked into so many different diets. I've read so many diet books, it's insane. And I settled on more of the paleo type diet, and it worked incredibly well for me while I did it. It's important to have a mindset of lifestyle versus diet. Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I'm trying to build now. So the key for me is going to be eating only when I'm hungry. Now, what really, I keep thinking of Louis C.K., who says that he basically eats anytime he can, and until it's an emergency. and it's funny because anytime I hear him talking about and joking about eating and gaining weight and stuff, I'm like, I totally understand that. Because he's like, I don't eat until I'm full. I eat until I can't eat anymore. And I've certainly gone through that. But what really it is, and I read it in the success book, in the habit book, I believe it's The Power of Habits. He talked about, let's see, I've struggled with weight, lost over 100 pounds in a 2-year period. Wow, that's awesome. If you can mention a couple of the main things you did, that would be awesome. But anyway, one of the books I read said the reason that people eat when they're not hungry is boredom and one other thing. I just lost it. But that's certainly one of the things for me, man. If it's noon, I eat. It doesn't matter if I'm hungry or not. And if it's dinner time to eat. Doesn't matter if I'm hungry or not. Like it would be absolutely crazy to miss a meal was my mentality. So trying to create these success rules and adjust things is a completely new stop eating my feelings. Yeah, that's certainly a big thing. If I had anxiety, I saw anxiety in there. I would do that as well, for sure. Or stress, even good stress. So here's the success rules I had before. If I'm stressed, eat, it'll make me feel better. If things are really good, like there's a huge win, like in my business, if we did a launch and like we did a coaching launch and we made about $350,000 the first day. That was a humongous, crazy monster win, and I celebrated with pizza. It was awesome. So basically, the rules I had set up before were eat, whether good things happen or bad things happen. So I'm trying to adjust that now. So only eat when I'm hungry, when I'm really hungry. Okay, so that's one. And then eat until the moment I'm satisfied. Back to that Louis C.K. bit where he was like, I don't eat till I'm full. He's like, there are some people that just go, oh, I think I'm done. I've ate exactly enough food for me to be satisfied. And he goes, I eat until it's an emergency, right? Oh. How do you define hunger? Well, basically, I'm going to the point where if my stomach growls, boom, I'm hungry. That's going to be the thing. And do you eat fast or slow? Yeah, well, basically I eat in front of the television, so to speak, or in front of the computer. And I'm also going to try and stop that as well. I'm going to sit at the table and eat my food and just do that. Not even listen to stuff, which is also a weird thing. Anytime I'm away from my computer, I'm listening to a book or mostly books nowadays. It used to be podcasts, but now it's just books and stuff. But anyway, so I'm the third rule is I'm going to eat until I'm satisfied. Now, number 4 is going to be a crazy one because, again, I've been on a diet for 17 years. So, let's see, I don't have a stopper being a food addict. I have to portion, right? I hear Tim Ferriss say eat slow. Yeah, I've read that a lot too. But so number 4 is a crazy one because of the diet thing. I have no food restrictions. Now, part of this, and again, I've been on one restrictive diet or another for, like I said, 17 years. So having no food restrictions totally terrifies me because it feels like even considering that would be insane and that I'll instead gain 20 pounds. But one of the things I read about the research behind it is a lot of times it's those restrictions that even thinking about, like I studied willpower recently, and they said the science behind willpower is if you even think of having willpower, like if you think about, ooh, at lunch, man, I don't want to have that cheesecake, even thinking about it lowers your willpower. Let alone being there, having the cheesecake in front of you and go, no, I'm not going to eat it. Don't give me the cheesecake. Like, that's insane to me. That's so crazy. So one of the things they said is not having that restriction, and you have a rule instead, and I'll tell you what the rule is in a minute. But yeah, no food restrictions. So I'll tell you how this goes, and maybe every week or so I'll let you know. And obviously putting this out is a way to help me stay on it because... usually if it's just for me, I can go, yeah, I'll start again next week, right? Like we all have that, we'll see Monday, I'll start again. So here's my, basically my dessert rule. I can have any dessert I want. Awesome rule. Later. So when I go in, and if I'm not a massive dessert person, but this applies for any of the stuff that, I guess we could consider bad. But I can go in and I can go, yeah, I'll have cheesecake, but I'll just have it, maybe I'll have it tomorrow instead of today. I'll have it later. So that you don't have that restriction. You're not going, oh my God, that's so bad. I'm going to die if I eat that. Instead, you're going, yeah, I can have whatever I want, but I'll just put that off till later. Stupendous says this is very timely for me. Good. I was hoping to... Again, I'm trying to find the people that want to have this whole epic life thing. I'm really designing this epic life stuff. And as I dug down, again, I went, well, the epic life comes from specific goals. And if I can't get my goals to work, then the epic life thing is so much harder. So let's dig down and find the habits. So anyway, the next one is, if later becomes now, so remember I said I can have a dessert, any dessert I want later. Then the next one is, if later becomes now and I do have a dessert, I never finish it. I always save some of it for later. So we'll see how that goes. Again, looking at, I made these habits based on all of the science stuff that I've been reading about diets, why they work, why they don't work. Then the next one is, I will check my weight and belly measurements daily. So again, a ton of stuff I've read. I've heard for so many years not to check your weight every day because there's fluctuations that happen just naturally. And I finally read something that said that's completely a myth. That it is absolutely good. Anything that you can actually check on consistently, you can measure and keep track of. Ooh, I don't do that. I do it monthly. Yeah, so here's the thing. Like, I've been playing around with this for a couple of weeks now, and it's one of those things where I used to check it about once a week, and if I knew things were going bad, I'd do it maybe every other week. And if you can't measure it, how can you make any sort of adjustments? You want to have that feedback loop. So if you go, oh my gosh, I gained 2 pounds, well then, what made that happen? And I want to be able to go, oh, well, yeah, I had this, this, and this, and I ate way past when I was full. Okay, I'm back on track now. I used to wait and measure daily. Weigh and measure. Oh, probably your food, right? Right. So anyway, so I've been doing that. I've been actually getting that to be a tiny habit to make sure I'm doing that as well. I will write down every food item that goes into my body. Let me see if I brought it in here. No, I left it in the kitchen. I bought a food journal. That's yet another thing that the science shows, that if you can write down every single thing that you eat and how you felt after, and then the next day, if I gain a pound, I can go back and go, oh yeah, it was this, and I felt bad afterwards as well. So you can start getting that very specific. It's about the feedback loops is what I'm seeing, that all the different books about habits talked about feedback loops that I really liked. The books that I really liked did. So I'm going to write down every food item, so the next day, depending on how I'm feeling, and if I wake up sluggish, or sometimes I sleep really, really well mostly, and I'm going to talk sometime about sleep too, because I've been testing sleep for a couple of years, trying to find that right sweet spot for me. Quantify, yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to write down every food item, and that actually, I just got my food journal today. So this is all going to kind of start today. At least I didn't start Monday like I do every week. But anyway, the next one is, if I feel like breaking the rules, and there's only one more left, if I feel like breaking the rules, I will eat a small piece of jerky or a small bit of fruit to up my willpower. Now, the willpower book I talked about a few days ago, it talked about how upping your glucose can reset or at least give you more willpower. And since willpower, they found scientifically actually, it drains throughout the day. Even thinking about using your willpower drains your willpower. Being able to up that and reset that is really important. Let's see. The sleep issue is a big one for me. I think it is definitely related to the food I eat. For sure, I've certainly found that. Even keeping other notes, I found that very, very specific food makes it so. Instead of sleeping at least 7.5 hours, which is my goal, to at least sleep 7.5, I go all the way down to about 5 or 6, which then kills me the whole rest of the day. I lose all willpower. They said, I think the two things that really kills willpower is lack of sleep and lack of glucose. So I'm all about the glucose. Yeah, ice cream, Butterfingers. It's called Carb Night Solution. Creating small habits is better than willpower. Yeah, well, I'm testing that because, and I was going to talk about tinyhabits.com. I just started that. It's from a guy, let's see, his name is, I've got it right up here, BJ Fogg, I think is his name. And he says, not to worry about willpower, instead make these tiny habits. Well, I'm doubling down. I'm doing both. So I just started the tiny habit stuff today, and it's really hard. I haven't seen what he's looked at in terms of willpower, because the guys that wrote the willpower book, that's all based on science stuff as well. So him just blanketly saying that willpower doesn't work, I don't really go for that, but I'm still going to use his stuff and test it. So I just started, he has a tiny habit course, like a 5-day course that's for free, and it starts every Monday. So I started that yesterday. So I'm doing that as well as learning all about and testing the willpower stuff. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Trying to catch up with Jason. He's about 7,000 or 8,000 hearts ahead of me. Of course, he's got about 10 scopes ahead of me as well. But anyway, thank you so much for these. So the jerky and a little piece of fruit, maybe a half an apple, if I'm starting to feel that craving like I'm going to break the habit and not do the habit for the day. I'm going to have that. And I got this crazy good jerky. I don't know if you can get it everywhere. Wasatch jerky. They've got 2 or 3 jerkies. It's a soft jerky. I normally don't like jerky because it's so hard and nasty, like chewing on a piece of leather. This stuff is soft and awesome. So those are the 2 things I'm going to do to kind of up my willpower. Only if I'm starting to have problems, or I'm going, okay, I can feel my willpower lessen, and I want to eat when I'm not hungry. That's going to be the key. Now, the last one, the 10th one and final one, if I break any of the rules, I will not binge the rest of the day, which is a huge thing. I've done that. You know, like even if I eat a bad breakfast, like I go meet a business friend and eat something bad, quote unquote bad at breakfast, I'm like, the day's screwed. I'm just going to eat whatever I want the rest of the day. Aim to drink a gallon of water. Yeah, I drink 3 or 4 of these every day, 32 ounces. So if I break the rules, I'm not going to binge the rest of the day. I will start back on rule 1 the next time I feel hungry. So that's my set of success rules. That it's that he's soft and awesome. No, my jerky is soft and awesome. Yep, been there, done that. Awesome. So those are my success rules. I'll read them again really quickly, and then I'll let you go for the day. Number 1, the mindset is I'm not on a diet. Number 2 is I only eat when I'm hungry. This is actually the main key to this. Number 3 is eat until the moment I feel satisfied only. Number 4 is there are no food restrictions. Number 5, I can have a dessert, any dessert I want, later. If later becomes now, I do have the dessert, but I never finish it. I save some for later. Number 7, I will check my weight and belly measurement. And I call it belly because right now it's a belly. It's not like a tight stomach. My belly measurement daily. Number 8, I will write down every food item that goes into my body. Number 9, if I feel like breaking the rules, I will eat 1 small piece of jerky or a small bite of fruit to help up my willpower. Again, all of this is based on research stuff that I've been reading. I just hit 15 books on habits now, and each habit book I try and take some of their structure and I'm trying to build a template. So I've got a mind map in front of me right here where I'm trying to build out a template of how creating and then fixing bad habits. So I've got 2 of them I'm building right now. Sounds like a fantastic plan. Thank you. And let's see. And then I got 2 more. If I feel like breaking the rules, I will eat 1. Oh, I already said that one. And then the final one is actually, if I break any of the rules, I will not binge the rest of the day. I will start back on rule number 1 the next time I feel hungry. So there you go. Those are the success rules that I'm working on right now to try and be able to reach this goal of losing a couple of pounds a week. I also tried to quantify with a spreadsheet where I show how long it'll take me to lose the amount of weight I want to lose over the course of time. So 2 pounds it'll take all the way till like next February or something like that. 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, that kind of thing. Just so that I can kind of see how to get back on track and where things will be. So I can see, I want to be able to quantify and see if this stuff works. So there you go. Any questions? Yep, got the spreadsheet. Yeah, I do take photos. I'll probably, I don't know, I guess maybe I'll take photos each week. It's a bit of a hassle because all of the, what are they called? The tripods I use are being used. So I've got the tripod here for the Periscope stuff. Then I got a tripod behind my monitor to do all my Internet Business Mastery stuff. Maybe it's time to get another tripod just to put it out there and take the picture. But yeah, so I will be adding the pictures as well. 2 pounds a month is 2 pounds a week, not a month. Think visually is really important. Yeah, I also have, I do a visual, I used to do an actual physical board that I would take out pictures from magazines and stuff of things I want. Now I use Pinterest. So I have my Epic Pinterest, private Pinterest page where I put pictures, physical pictures of what I want to look like. I even have pictures of me back in my Hollywood days where I was very, very fit, and I have pictures of that to try and remind me as well. So I am doing that, Kirby. Thanks for mentioning that. Any other questions or anything else before I go? I wanted to try and do a quick cast. So far, almost all of mine are like 50 minutes. So anything else? Success rules, again, so far in building this habit stuff, I've got a couple of things. Actually, I got a whole bunch of things, but I thought I would just do one episode on different things. I never thought of using Pinterest as a visual. Yeah, I love it because I can go in there. So that's on my morning routine, is to look at my Pinterest list. And actually, just for fun, maybe I'll show it to you so you can see what I have on there right now. It'll take me just a second here. All right. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, see if I can get this to work. All right, so here's my Pinterest board. I don't know how well you can see this with this. So I'm building a library, so you can see that I've got a lot of library pictures, a couple house pictures. As I go gray, I found this guy that I love his style, so I'm looking at that. So here's my physical pictures. Like, I don't want to be huge and muscular, but I would like to, really I want to be at my ideal body weight, whatever that ends up being for me. But those are the pictures on Pinterest that I use. So I just started putting them here instead of having a physical board that I used to have. Cool, I'm going to try that. Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love having that. And again, it's on my morning routine to absolutely look at that. This throws off my camera now, but anyway. So and then I think Hutch said that they've got that on iPhone, which is really cool. This Pinterest thing works completely well for me, so that's what I've been hearing. Yeah, I'll do, maybe tomorrow I will do, I'll talk about my morning routine. I think I'm going to probably do one. I want to try and make them about 15 minutes, but I chat so much that making it that is hard. But maybe I'll do one about morning routine tomorrow, and I'll even show you my spreadsheet that I use. And I keep my spreadsheet on my second monitor the whole day so that I can go through it and check things off. I watch bodybuilding videos. Yeah. When are you going to give us a tour of your office? It's not very big. It's just a bedroom that I overlook. I overlook this private park in this gated community I live at. I don't need a whole lot in here, but yeah, maybe that'll be another thing. I'll show you the little library that I'm finally building back after getting rid of all my books a couple of years ago. Anyway, thank you guys so much for showing up. Again, I'm trying to start making a little more snackable content so you can just come in, watch some stuff, and then we're out instead of having super long stuff. Nicole, thanks. I have scope planned around my library. That's awesome. Yeah, I've just been building this library back up, and I'm actually, just with the shipment I got this morning, I bought about 75 books, I guess, in the last month or so. It's awesome. I'm so excited. I love doing this. Thanks. Yep. See you guys later. My strategy as well, 10-minute max is my goal. Awesome. There you go. Thank you so much for watching. And by the way, if you want to hear more about the stuff, definitely click the little icon down here with the number next to it and follow me if you're not already following me. And I'll be talking more about this, also some business stuff, also some Pinterest stuff. I'm kind of all over the place right now trying to settle on what it is I'm going to mostly talk about, but that's what it is. And thank you so much for the hearts. Thanks, Jeremy. Great scope. Thank you for coming in and giving me the time. And I guess I'll talk to you guys possibly tonight or tomorrow. Thanks.